Hi everyone, welcome to a new Dwarf Fortress series. I'm Sir Tristan. I figured April 1st, April Fool's Day, would be the best day to start a new series. Seems like a good idea to me. There's a new version of Dwarf Fortress that came out a while ago, but now we have an updated version of the Lazy Noob Pack and of DF Hack, and so I think it's time to dive back on in. Real quick, if you've never played Dwarf Fortress before, you can easily just find it by Googling the Lazy Noob Pack and clicking on the second link. That link will take you to your specific version, whichever one you need, and you just download, follow the link there, for instance the Windows version, and then you just download right there. Let's go over my settings real quick, and then we'll jump right into a game. I left everything mostly normal. I did turn off aquifers because it has been a while since I've played Dwarf Fortress, and I want to make sure that I have the basics down. Again, you know, the game is pretty complicated. There's lots to remember and lots to forget at the same time. So I've turned aquifers off. I've set up the Iron Hand graphics pack for now. I might change it up in the future, but I've always really liked Iron Hand. Utilities we'll get into later. I've got the sound on so you can hear the lovely music going on in the background. I might change that out in the future because it's just kind of set on a infinite loop, the same song over and over again. So we'll turn that intro movie off. I don't mean to ever really show it, so I think everything else is pretty standard. So let's go back to the game. And in the bottom left corner you can find the key presses using a program called KeyCast OW, and it will just show you my key presses. That way if you're ever confused about what I'm doing, you can just watch the bottom left corner and you'll be able to figure it out. So let's head up to start playing Dwarf Fortress. And we're going to load the world. And I only have one world that's installed, that right now that's been created. And you can see in the bottom left corner, it's the Enchanted Domain. Now right now you're seeing ASCII graphics that will be updated once we actually get into the game. But I'm gonna, I think, search for a suitable site. And while the game is searching, I want to talk about this series a little bit and what you can expect from this series. So let's, first thing, we will press F to find a desired location. Then we have our options over on the far right up there. We probably want low savagery. Well, actually, let's just say NA there. Elevation, temperature, rain. I do want rain. Rain is great. Fluxstone layer is very good. Aquifer doesn't really matter here. River is always nice for things like fish and some other things. Shallow metal. I think we want to set this all to multiple so that it can have both shallow and deep. And clay is good for making clay pots, which behave similar to barrels and bags and things like that. So we've got our search parameters locked in. Let's go ahead and do the search. Press enter. So as far as this series goes, what I want to do, oh good, it's already finding some. What I want to do is, I want to actually break this series up a bit more than I did before. Are we already done? We're already done. That was very quick. Where are my... I only found one. Really? This is the only one right here. Okay, well maybe this is where we're going to start. Let's see. Oh, so well, you know what? No, it's not. It's a freezing temperature. And I'm not quite ready to have my doors freezing to death, I don't think. So let's actually clear the results. Press F, and then we'll press F again to search. Let's just do rain. We'll do rain in A, and we'll run a search that way. Man, it's searching really quickly. Okay, looks like we've actually got a few options now. It stuck us in the upper left. No, where did it stick us? I'm not used to these ASCII graphics here. Oh, wait, that's why. Escaped browse results. There we go. Yeah, so it did. We're looking at that flashing arrow in the upper left corner. If you follow my mouse cursor, it's like right there. So that's where we're at right now. We got a tropical ocean, hot, no trees, no vegetation. Is there any trees here? So there is a woodland here. So part of the area that we'll be on, just one very small part. Oh, but a lot of this is ocean. I don't like that at all. Let's go look at the next one. We'll go way down, cross the ocean, and look right here. Freezing. No good spots so far. Let's clear the search results. We'll search again. Rain doesn't matter. Drainage does not matter. Let's. There we go. Let's set this up soil to be little, because I don't need too much soil. I mean, several layers is often very good, but I don't think that matters too much right now. Let's do a search. So yes, I want to do multiple episodes of this series per week. So I think the best way to set that up, that's all we got. Again, really the same things. Well, so let's see. Let's press escape. So we're in the upper left flashing X again. I'm gonna actually move the local area, so the upper left window is gonna change. Do H and K. Sand, clay, deep soil flux. Shallow, deep metals. So this completely loses both metals right here. That means that I bet there's actually no metals. Yeah, the only metals are in the ocean. Well, that certainly doesn't help me. I can't, well, I guess I could always dig underneath the ocean. I still don't like this setup, though. Oops. I still don't like this, so let's clear. So maybe we give up deep metals. We'll just give that up. Or maybe we give up shallow metals. Shallow metals. Maybe that's better. Let's try a search this way. So my plan, if I want to do multiple episodes per week, is that the time limit on each episode needs to be much shorter. Usually I run between, still exactly the same, really. It's either freeze or live in the ocean. Okay. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about my plans for this series eventually, I promise. We just got to find, something. Okay, let's just turn clay. Doesn't matter. How about that? Multiple. Let's do greater than some. Greater than little is fine. Deep metals, shallow metals. Let's see how this search is going to get us. Maybe if we say aquifer no, maybe it's searching. No, aquifer NA should be the best. Run the search that way. So normally I do videos anywhere from like 30 minutes to 40 minutes to an hour, just depending on what's going on, Oh, thank goodness we have more possibilities. Okay, so let's browse these results. And where are we now? Where'd it put us? Put us at the very bottom right, the two flashing X's next to each other, which is freezing temperatures, so we're not going to do that. We'll go up to the X's on the right. This has a little bit of ocean. So let's look at the three different biomes. F1, F2, F3. We'll look at our biomes. So F1 is the saltwater marsh. That's going to make up about 50% of our play space. Deep soil, deep metals, and fluxstone. A woodland, warm. That's good. The next one is the actual, just more saltwater marsh, but temperate instead. It's going to make up the northern part. I like this so far. And then the third section is just the actual ocean. We have sand, little soil, shallow metals are here. So only, really, the playable space, at least until we burrow underneath the ocean, is just going to have deep metals. But very deep soils, that's very good for storage levels. And a flexstone layer, which flexstone is very useful for numerous things. This actually looks like a pretty good embark spot. I think that I like this a lot. Let's look at a few other things. If we hit tab to change the mode. Here's our neighbors. We have dwarves and humans, so we won't get any trading from the elves, but we will have trades from both dwarves and humans. We can choose our civilization that we come from. Oops. No, stay there. There we go. Plus and minus. There. So, we have the dominant rags. I don't see where they're from at all. Oh, there we go. The dominant rags covers most of the southwestern continent. You can see all the little blue horseshoey looking symbols. That's not what they are, but they look like horseshoes. And then the dye of coloring, they own the mountains to the north. I think that this is better. The dye of coloring would be a better home civilization. Elevation is moderate. We're near the ocean, but we're not super low. And we are, this is super flat, completely flat. Our embark point will have no mountains, so we'll have to dig straight down. I'm worried about not seeing goblins or anything here. But I do believe now that in this version, goblins will actually send expeditions and forces to you no matter where you are. You know, I think what we'll do is we will use the handy Dwarf Fortress wiki. There we go. I'm pretty much always going to have this open because, like I said earlier, there is so much to forget about Dwarf Fortress. Goblin attacks, sieges is probably what we're looking for. Sieges. Yeah. I just want to see structure of a siege. But how do we get them? Can you ever not get sieges? Necromancer sieges, that will be fun. Just reading a little bit here. There we go. A civilization will be unable to lay siege if it can't reach your fortress site. I'm reading right here. Meaning you'll never get sieges if you embark on an island or in a valley which is completely surrounded by mountains. If you want to make sure that a certain civilization will be capable of laying siege to you, then look at the neighbor's view on the embark site. That's what I was looking at, was the neighbor's view. So let's go back to here. So maybe this isn't the best embark site, is kind of what my gut is telling me. Oh, there are goblins. There are goblins here. This is a possible embark spot. Let's take a look at this. This has got some ocean as well. Sand, very deep soil, deep metals, flexstone. Shallow metals. So pretty much the same thing, but on the northern coast instead of the western coast of the little continent, I guess, that I'm on. What continent is this? The continent of Fording in the Enchanted Domain. Obviously no trees in the Temperate Ocean, the Lyrical Water, but the Waning Plains is a shrubland, and it has woodland trees, and it does have goblins, which is good, so at least we'll get goblin neighbors. The dye of coloring. What's our elevation like here? So we actually do have some slight mountains to the east. And the bottom left corner is going to be pretty flat. But we do have ocean to the north, so we might get some good fishing there, and a river to the southwest. So everything looks pretty good. I think this is a pretty strong embark point. Let's go ahead and press E to embark. Salty water, it might be very difficult to survive here. I think because I have a river, the river should not be salt water. So let's embark. We want to prepare for the journey carefully. And I have a pretty typical setup when I do this. I like to take 2 miners. So we'll use the plus minus keys to set this guy to a plus 10. Oops. And then we'll go back to the second guy. Make him a miner. The third, Vabok Delarocal, will be a woodcutter and our carpenter. Let's see, next up we probably want a grower and a cook. Well, maybe not. We don't want our cook and we want our grower, our farmer, to always be the same. By the way, I really hope eventually, one day, these names match the in-game names, because in-game, it's fisherman. Not fisherman, farmer. It's farmer in-game, but here it's grower, and I really don't know why, so hopefully one day that gets fixed. We'll go down to our next guy, though, and him will be an herbalist and a cook. No. We'll do a brewer and a cook. That's what we'll do. Brewer and a cook. The next guy can be... We need a mason guy to work with. There we go. He'll be a mason to work with stone. And then last but not least, we want our expedition leader, who which one is it? Negotiator. I think that's the one. We'll do some persuasion, some negotiation, some judger of intent for trading, some appraiser, and some record keeper, because I like to keep my records pretty early on. So we have let's see, 2 miners, I think. Let's see, let's go back here just to make sure. 1 miner, 2 miners, a woodcutter and a carpenter, a farmer, brewer and a cook, a mason, and our leader. This guy, this Mebzuth Morul Erteth, the very last guy on the list, he should be set as the expedition leader because he has these skills. I believe that's how that works. I'm pretty sure. Let's hit tab. We want to decide what we're going to take. So we only need 1 battle axe. We need 2 copper picks. We need an anvil because that's going to let us do iron working, and you can only make an anvil if you have an anvil. It's just kind of a weird thing with Dwarf Fortress. So we always want to bring one with us. I'm just going to reduce, I think, the amount of wine that we bring down to 20, and I'll explain why in a little bit. More plump helmet seeds, because that will be our primary food source for a while. Turtles. I always like turtles because of their shells, and sometimes you need shells for dangerous moods, so we want to bring those because sometimes shells are needed, and you don't want your dwarf to go crazy making a throne that needs turtle shells because he can't find any. So we got plenty there. Then we got some buckets, splints and crutches, wheelbarrows for moving stone, step ladders for things. Okay, so we have at the bottom 68 points left. So what I want to do is I want to add some new items, and I want to add some individual drinks. We actually only have these 2, but we're going to go ahead and add them both, because each drink, even if we only bring 1, will provide us with a free barrel. And then each food type that we bring, so I'm going to bring 1 of each fish, should provide us with their own barrel as well. So we're getting some free barrels here by gaming the system a little bit. There we go. Pond turtle, male and female. It'd be cool if you could breed turtles. I'm pretty sure you cannot, though. So same thing with cloth, actually, and silk. We're going to bring... Well, actually, those cost a bit more, don't they? How many points do I have? I have 54. I'm not really going to be able to bring any animals like this, am I? I may have to reduce some things here to bring a few animals so that I can breed some cats to eat and breed some dogs to turn into war machines. We can add a few more meats, I think, because again, each meat will bring us a free barrel because meat gets stored separately. Alright, so let's hit tab. Nope, not tab. Let's hit to the right. We will look at, let's see, we got, okay, here we go. So we can add a dog. Plus, there you go, one dog. One male dog, one female dog. One, oh, I don't have enough points now. Alright, so let's come over here and let's reduce some things. Stepladder is 50. I'm going to take that off. Wow, don't need the stepladder, I'm pretty sure. Let's be smart. Let's be wise about this. This episode's going to run long because it's the first one. It's set up. But that's okay. Step ladder. Step ladders are tools used to harvest fruit from trees. If a fruit-bearing tree is located in a plant-gathering zone, a dwarf will automatically fetch a step ladder, place it under. You can make them at a carpenter's workshop for 1 log. So yeah, no. We are definitely not going to waste our time bringing a step ladder. That would be a waste of 50 points. You know what? We may actually be able to build a wheelbarrow really easily as well. I forget what exactly the crafting materials are for it. 1 wood at a carpenter's workshop, same thing. We just saved ourselves 100 points by not bringing a wheelbarrow. So now that means we can bring some better animals. Do we want to bring a cat? Do we want to bring a kitten? Cool. I want to bring some other things as well, I think. An ewe and a ram. 1 of each. I need actually 51 points for that. So, is there anything cheaper? Here we go. A hen and a rooster. This will let me get chicks and eggs, which eggs are an excellent source of food. What else? We can do a goose and a gander. And then anything else? Bunnies? Nah. No, that's fine. Okay, so we have 64 points. So now, instead, let's go ahead and load up on different types of meat. Many as we can. What'd I do? Okay, there. There we go. Okay, so while I'm doing this in the background, let's talk about the cadence of episodes. I keep messing this up. New item. Am I at my limit? Oh, there we go. Okay. I hit my points. Okay, I lied. I'm still not going to talk about it. Let's name the fortress. Shift F. I like to just randomize a bunch, so I'm just going to spam R until we get the Bristol mines. The brittle mines would have been so much better. Yeah, I think so. Can we find brittle? Please be brittle. The brittle mines would be so cool sounding. Here we go. Really? No, not brittle? Okay, that's okay. Brightmines. The Brightmines. That's a great name for a fort. Let's use that. And then let's name our group. Shift G. Same thing, we'll just randomize a bunch until we get something really cool sounding. The Oily Sabers, not quite. The Arches of Glee. The Cloudy Sling. The Rare Machine. The Halls of Meditating. The Early Quakes. The Blameless Banner. There we go. We are flying the Blameless Banner at the Brightmines. Very cool. I think we are good to go. We're going to press Embark and press Enter. Hopefully this is going to work. There we go. We got our sound back. You have arrived after a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all Altir Dakas. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance. Whether by bolt, plow, or hook, provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before the winter entombs you, but it is spring now, enough time to delve secure lodgings, ere the dingoes get hungry. A new chapter of Dwarven history begins here at this place. Shenavos, the Brightmines, strike the earth. Cool. The game is paused. Here's our group. Our lovely group of dwarves and animals. And our cart. And that's going to do it for this episode. Now that we're done, I can finally talk about how quickly these videos are going to come out. Because I don't like the cadence that I've done with other series of like one a week or one every 2 weeks just because of my schedule, I'm going to be doing these Dwarf Fortress episodes in shorter segments, around 20 minutes per episode. What I want to do is try to get 3 episodes to you per week, probably do like a Friday, Monday, Wednesday cadence. I know I've said that word a lot, but that's appropriate for this case. So about 3 episodes per week, that's about an hour of footage for me to record each week. I really feel like I can do that, and I want to get far in this series. I don't want to just do 14 or so episodes. This is going to be somewhat of a tutorial. I'm going to be talking a lot about the choices that I make, why I do things, and how to do certain things, as well as kind of talk about what you're seeing on the screen in the next few episodes. So that's the plan for this series. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. I know you've been looking forward to Dwarf Fortress for a while. I'm ready to dive back in, and I hope you are as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.